Maria, thank you for agreeing to record the game. And look, let me briefly tell you about the game itself. So, the game is called The Territory of Money, and we work specifically with the topic of money from the perspective of your inner voice. What is the essence of the game? Inside, we have four fields: the field of intuition, the field of action, the field of reason, and the field of energy. And in order for your goal to be realized, which we will choose a bit later, you need to collect the amulets from all these fields. So, as you can see, here are the amulets of intuition, logic, energy, and action. And if we collect all of them, it means you have resources in every field for your goal to come true. And what does a transformational game do? It gives us clues about what is preventing us from reaching this goal. So now we are choosing a financial goal, and everything that comes up in the game, cards, hints, will all be about showing what exactly still needs to be done for your goal to be achieved. So look, we have metaphorical cards that we can turn to at any moment. So if you don't get an answer to something, you can ask me to draw a metaphorical card, and we can draw one at any time. Also, let's see how we can collect these four amulets. You can either land on a space on the board where that amulet is drawn. It can come up on one of the cards, or you can also buy it with manifested money. Right here we have manifested money. As soon as you collect 10 coins, you can buy an amulet. There is also unmanifested money. These are, for example, acquaintances, some knowledge, or something you have but haven't monetized yet. And the game will show you how many resources you have that need to be monetized. And now let's go ahead and start the game. What question did we want to play with today? Specifically a financial one. For example, the question could be, what will help me reach a certain amount of money per month? Or what will help me achieve something in that direction? So it's a question related to finances. Is there
Such a question. What will help me get out of debt? You could call it a debt pit, maybe something like that.
Well, let's see. Let's give it a try. More positively, what will help? The amount you need. So let's take a look then. What will help you reach such a breakthrough month or earn the amount you need to pay off your debts?
Yes, that is exactly right. What specific actions will help me successfully earn, say, 50,000 rubles in the upcoming 30-day period?
All right, if we're saying that we're going to do an exam about FIA, do you want to go in with this information or not? If it works out for us, if it turns out that what we've accumulated is relevant, then we go in with this question. If not, then we can skip it. So the request sounds like this. Help me earn 50,000 rubles in the next month. It immediately lands on an odd number. That's the request we're playing with. And now we roll an 8-sided die to determine which field we start playing from. We start playing from the intuition field. We place your token at the start of the intuition field, and now we look at how many manifested coins and non-manifestations you start the game with. In this scene, there will be 4 clearly manifested and visible golden coins, along with 3 hidden or unmanifested coins waiting to be revealed. And if you look closely, every single element within this entire arrangement appears to be deeply and profoundly symbolic in its nature. So we start from the intuition field. Now let's see whether we quickly pass through the field and get everything, or on the contrary, this is exactly what we need to pay attention to. So look, you can roll the dice. I can roll them on the computer, or you can roll a physical die yourself. What's more convenient for you?
I lack one currently, so let's use the computer version.
All right, then I'll roll for you. And we make the first move. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And look, you immediately land on the intuition amulet. So basically your intuition is all good. And again, look, if we start on the intuition space and land on the amulet, it's kind of another sign that in principle you might already be feeling things intuitively. Or on the contrary, you might intuitively receive the way through which this money can come to you. So that means I'll go with this. We make the next move. 3. 1, 2, 3. Look, we land on the resource square and draw a card. Your financial intuition is fully unlocked. You find yourself in the right place at the right time with the right people. Receive the universe's money magnets. Yeah, look, here you have it. A second confirmation that intuition, basically just listen to your intuition, otherwise you'll be led astray. So these cards, I'll take pictures of them and send them all to you. If we get 3 of these, we receive a money magnet. What does a money magnet do? It's there every time. So that's how it works. You can use it once. And when you receive a certain amount of money, if you tell me that you want to double it, you can double it one time. If you forget to mention it to me, then it just stays with you. So again, it's about whether we use opportunities or just keep them stored away. So look, we get the lead itself, we get the money magnet, and we get more intuition, and we move on. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look over here. There is a wonderful surprise gift for you. Hooray, you get coins from other participants as a gift. Participants share coins with you. But since in this case we're playing together, with me acting as the universe, it means I'm the one giving you the coins. But look, if we were playing with each other, in other words, you can play with up to 7 participants, then the participants would be the ones sharing with you. And once again, take a closer look at the gameplay. You can see that you also receive a significant amount of money as you progress. Now let's transition our focus toward the vast and mysterious wonders of the entire universe.
And look, next comes the power of intuition. We proceed with great speed and agility, and when we finally arrive at the court, what exactly should we say? A valuable financial asset card goes directly into the pit, your personal cash flow. Roll the dice. Willingly distribute the entire sum of the total amount, which represents the newly manifested and perfectly equivalent value. The audience. Why do you think when you land on an action space, you get a joy card from your financial partner's node? It would be better to make a Cariton table. Let's do it. Yeah, you're like a stuffed little mouse, you are. What does this mean for you? It is in fact a deeply rooted negative underlying reason that manifests itself in daily life. Greed has narrowed the financial flow. I guess I get greedy from time to time, and greed, maybe it's not so much about the money, right? It's more about the energy and effort I feel sorry to spend. It always feels like I don't have enough. Like I'm always lacking, yeah? It feels like I never have enough strength. Well, I'm not in the right state, so why bother? If I do something else now, I'll just collapse completely, right? I'm already in the red, and this would just make it worse. That's the kind of feeling I have. Plus, there's this sense of being oversaturated, like that little mouse, stuffed itself with everything. There's already been so much has been done. And now it feels like I just want to lie down and do nothing. But at the same time, so it's like this greed for energy, for resources. Yeah.
So look, we're using a metaphorical card to see what can help us get the energy needed to earn money and take action, because that's exactly why we've come to the field of action. What will help you get the energy for action? What profound significance does this card hold for you personally? In what way do you go about the process of creation? What exactly is it within this space that will provide you with the resources for taking action?
The first thing that came to mind was to connect with the flow of money, to feel it, to recognize that it exists, that it's important, that it's also, in fact, a part of reality.
It's not separate, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, that it exists at all. It's like I've become disconnected from it lately. And actually, that was the reason why I ended up in debt. So it's like, at some point, I just said, that's it. I'm not doing anything. I'm taking a break. That's all. Don't bother me. Money doesn't exist for me. Something like that, kind of. And that's why I ended up with rent debt. Let me write this down for myself now.
Yes, let's move on. And so, look, so now it turns out we're going through the games, right? So we're looking specifically at the subconscious beliefs that are holding us back. And then after the game, we'll work through those beliefs, right? So that, again, there won't be this separation between yourself and money. Again, maybe just as you consciously realize something, the same goes for your subconscious. There will be some limitations that kind of distance you from the feeling that the financial flow is somewhere separate. Look, so let's do this. First, I take the coins, right? On the card, it said that, so what are you replenishing? Here, for us, that's 1 coin. So how many coins are we taking? 4. Okay, that makes 6. Let's count them out together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and finally 6. Look at that. Once again, you have managed to get the rest space. So on your turn, you land on a rest space, which means you skip a turn. And what do you think this means in this case?
Well, it means that it's also important to learn how to rest. It's like I don't really rest well, to be honest. I mean, when I'm resting, I'm not actually resting. I still always have things on my mind. Well, it's not even just in my head. I just can't fully relax. And when I rest, plus it ends up being about inaction again. Lately, I haven't been taking action. Again, it's about inaction. I mean, but the thing is, I'm not taking action, but I'm not resting either. That's how it feels. It's important to separate those two things. Here, there's a very
important point. This sense of obligation, it's like I feel like I have to act. And right after that, again, we'll remove this sense of obligation to act. And then basically the actions themselves won't be because I have to do them, but they'll just happen naturally. Yes,
yes.
Okay, let's keep quiet then. But if there are other participants, we skip the turn, but then basically, yes, we move on. And look, you understood it correctly. Some realizations for yourself, and next we move to the blessing square. To receive a blessing from yourself, to receive unmanifested abundance from the universe, unmanifested money. So look, some important thought came up, or some important realization came before this. What does that mean? The game leads to the blessing square.
This thought, as if I have to take action. Yes, that's the insight I had.
Basically, that's a breakthrough, really. If you're moving in the right direction, you receive coins. So how many manifested coins do we get? You see right away, 6. And unmanifested coins as well. 6, look.
I would very much like to utilize the magnet.
Oh, look, how did you even... Well done, you remembered just in time. So now we add another 6 each. And you can buy an amulet right away. Yes, go ahead. Which amulet do you want?
I want an amulet. My intuition says amulet. Energy mind says amulet of actions. Let's go with energy.
All right, let's listen to your intuition. So yes, it turns out it's the energy amulet. We take it for 10 coins. And look, now we keep moving. Now we land on a square. Unmanifested money. Hello, I just thought, that's a lot. Because of that, the money doesn't materialize in your life. Take a literary card and answer the question, which one? Will my strength help me fulfill my request and let the flow of abundance into my life? Give the unmanifested coins to the universe and receive the manifested ones. So look, you don't value yourself enough. That's why money doesn't come to you. And let's draw a hook then. What is your strength that will help you fulfill your request? And here, specifically, what strength will help you restore the financial flow in your life? That is, not separating it from yourself, but being in that flow.
Probably the strength of acceptance, well, specifically acceptance, allowing yourself to receive money. And here there's also the man-woman aspect, probably that feminine energy.
Which always helps you to rest and relax without any sense of guilt.
Yes, yes. That is probably to act in a feminine way, meaning alternating. Yes.
You don't need to, I think, and something else. It's more about the state of intuition, what your intuition tells you. In fact, everything happens quickly. If we think correctly and don't put up a card that decides for us, then it all comes to fruition quickly. Look, it turns out that the force acts in a feminine way. And look, now we're making a change. Unmanifested money into manifestation. So however much unmanifested we give, 3 to 3, however much manifested we receive, it's 3 times as much. And we make the next move. 2, 1, 3, 4. We land on a resource again. Think about your request. Draw a metaphorical card without looking and answer the questions. What resources do you have to fulfill your request? What 3 actions need to be taken for your request to come true? To receive abundance from the universe, manifested money as a result. So look, we are considering what resources do you have? What actions need to be taken? a vast amount of knowledge and experience. By the way, see how interesting it is. Everyone sees something different in a metaphorical card. And again, the valuable resource you possess is indeed the deep knowledge you have, but it truly needs to be effectively monetized and put to use. That is very interesting. So, what 3 specific and practical actions can you start taking right now? This is so that this knowledge doesn't just accumulate within you, but can actually be meaningfully shared and communicated with someone else who needs it.
For some reason, the first thing that came to mind was reading books. Basically, working through these piles that have built up, because I always have a similar stack of books on my nightstand that I'm reading at the same time, gradually, bit by bit. To focus on one thing. Yes, probably that. To focus, for example, right now I'm reading this book, so I should try to finish it before moving on.
So maybe do that. Go through the books one by one. What else? What other 2 actions could you take?
So, to focus on a single action, because usually I do a bunch of things in parallel. If I start a lot of things, there are a lot of processes going on at the same time. So it's about focusing on just one.
Yeah, what came to mind for me was actually the Telegram channel. Like there's a lot going on there too. And I relied on the Telegram channel for a lot of things, just like you did before, how the posts were coming out. It was interesting. But lately, as you've started to focus more and look at the Telegram channel, you can always see everything. But it's always about focusing on one thing, which is what I do more now.
Well, if we're talking about an action, a step, then it's about choosing that one thing to focus on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you already conserve so much energy that way.
Yeah, and it is not meant for your entire life, but rather only for the immediate and near future, specifically focusing on just that one thing.
Yeah. It can certainly always change at any time. For me, it's for the week. Just one. All right, now let's make the next move. So
Should we just buy a little amulet right away?
let's do it. Which one do you want to buy? An amulet?
The ongoing action.
All right. Okay, let's take the second one and take it. An amulet of action. We have about 4. Let me minimize this a bit. The window, because I can't see this line. Now look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, here we land on a gift. Ask the participants for amulets. If someone has duplicate amulets, they shouldn't refuse your request. Look, again, this is a moment when we listen to our intuition. So you took it right away. Before we made a move, you take the amulet. And now the participants give you the missing amulet. In this case, I'm acting as the lead participant, and I give you the missing amulet. And the missing amulet is thoughts about logical actions, in other words, the mind. This isn't something that's heavily emphasized. It's not that you need to have some detailed strategy for your goal or your resource. Here, look more, listen to your intuition. We haven't even reached the energy floor yet, because it's kind of about organizing your actions, holding on to your potential, and the fact that we scatter our potential across many things, that's the energy you need to act with. And then everything else comes as a bonus. That is, the energy will appear on its own and the strategic actions will follow naturally. Basically, it will all come together thanks to intuition. Look, I'm adding the last amulet for you, and now we have this beautiful picture. Congratulations on unlocking this dictionary. And look, here's the essence of the game. It's not even about collecting everything and being done. Actually, the game is timed. During this time, you could have gathered even more potential to earn more. But for now, we're stopping here because you've already completed it. And look, after the game, insights can still come to you for another 2 days. Some realizations. Some cards might reveal themselves later on, and it's absolutely necessary to do 3 actions. Well, basically, you've already written them down for yourself since they came up directly in the card. So 3 actions, you wrote them down for yourself. And now tell me, what are the main 1 or 2 realizations you got from this game?
Well, the first important one, yes, is this. I clearly saw this belief that I have to act, and that's what blocks me. So I act out of obligation, not out of desire. Even though I want to act, this sense of should, it kind of prevails. And the second thing, yes, is this image of the girl with the books, which is exactly me, when there's just a ton of stuff, a ton of knowledge, a ton of experience. And I don't focus on just one single thing. I really spread myself far too thin across everything. And that actually prevents me from moving forward at all. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. It is everywhere. And there is no real sense of direction. There's no focus like let's do it step by step. I have a list of 200 things that all need to be done urgently today. And then I do one thing, get tired, and that's kind of how it goes.
Well, great. It turns out you've got your foundation. So now I'm stopping at the list. Now we're just going through some formalities with you. So yes, thank you very much for allowing me to record again. It happened